Hi guys, happy Sunday. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about state of reality and try and give you the best overall picture of how everything works. Right? This is, I think maybe eventually I'll do like maybe a 60 minute, maybe a 30 to probably a 60-minute video on this, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys just a little thing maybe to think about until I get that video made. Eventually, I think maybe this week I might, I don't know, it's wintertime, so I might make a video on this. It's really interesting the way everything works, right? You and I are one. They say you and I are one just like the Father is one. So that statement is very interesting because, but to understand it from a higher perspective and what's actually going on there, if you look at the whole universe and if you look at NDEs online and testimonies, they all, realize that they're just a part of the all that is, or when you go into like near-death experiences, you become just a piece of light in a just all light. And so all light originates from one source. And anytime you look at anything in reality, it's looking exactly like that. And well, why does everything look separate? Well, light comes, look at your own biofield, right? It comes from your heart space, goes up and out, and then it precipitates out all the energy that comes from your heart, and your heart gets filtered through your mouth and your mind, and then it comes out and filters out, and then it comes back into your lower chakras until it back to your heart. So the way your heart health is all about how you view your own heart here, and then how that comes back here. So everything originates from you and comes back to you. That's how everything works. So everything is just a little miniature version of everything else. And as structures hold more of everything, then it becomes more self-aware. So the projections, our projections from here and here, grow more complex, right? So they start to create their own little universes. It's like, like a tree in and of itself is not, its self-awareness isn't anything like ours, right? Because we're way more complex. We're like all these universes within universes. Look at all the cells in your body all collected, and then you look at those, and then how much energy and information just one cell holds. Way more than, and how those cells are organized are creating much more energy and information moving through your biofield than like a tree or a bug, or and then as they move through self-awareness, they're not self-aware enough to realize that how they're treating their environment is having an impact on their own health, right? So that's why as things evolve, they start to slowly grow older. Because things are growing more self-aware, they start to get more in balance with and actually nature is in balance. Man is having a hard time getting balance because just because of delusional thinking, right? That there's something out there to get you. And when you look at it, it's all working as a whole, and everything works like this, right? It breaks down and then it grows. But going back to how everything works, look at a picture of a galaxy or a star. It doesn't matter what you're looking at. The energy spits out, and then it goes out, and it precipitates, and then it comes back in, and then eventually gets all the way back to the middle again, just like your own biofield. Look at the water cycle on the Earth. It's doing the exact same thing, right? Water evaporates on land, so it's coming from the source. So where's the water coming from? That's a good question. The water is always there. But really, it never isn't there. It's just going through different states and precipitating out into different forms to go back to itself. So light does the same thing. Comes from source, comes out, slows down. So all the energy that comes from here goes out, slows down, and then it precipitates out into your environment. And then it slowly works its way back up. So that cycle is what you witness everywhere. It doesn't matter where you look, right? So higher frequencies slow down into lower frequencies to the lowest frequencies, and then start to filter back up in higher and higher frequencies. So everything's moving into higher frequencies, and that the evolutionary process is that over time, which is a super long time, right? And then, yeah. And so once you realize that, you'll be able to consciously click. And I just watched a video of somebody that was talking about this, of what Jesus said, or a download that she has been getting for years, but they don't know what's going to happen. Well, you'll be able to go back to being a part of all that is, and then bring that back into your physical vessel to create the kind of experience that you want in this lifetime. And that's just you pulling in your higher self. Meditation is very important. And then that's why unconditional love is so important, because everything is doing that. It doesn't matter how destructive someone's behavior is, or how much they're attacking their environment. Everything is just in some kind of point of delusion, getting back to full self-awareness. Sorry, my nose is itching. So, when you look at it from that point, it's just, you get to a point where nothing can really trigger you, right? And you're in a state of just unconditional love for yourself and everyone else, because that's what everything is. It's not any more complicated than that, right? So here's where the energetic block comes. Money is something, I was talking to my dad about money yesterday, and money is an energetic block to growth. Now, why is that? Why would you say that? So think about what I just said as far as everything being the same and learning about itself. Money exists because we have judged our environment, or judged the value of something and placed the value of something over another thing, right? For example, your money is placing a value on time, right? And we're putting different value on different people's time, which is not correct. All of our time is just as valuable as anybody else's. And when you think of the bigger picture, everyone is growing. I don't care who you are in the spiritual community or whatever you're doing, has just as much value as a child learning to build Legos, right? So when you place a value on time, now you're creating an energetic block between you and your environment, right? Because everything is the same. Everything has the same amount of value. It doesn't matter if it's a bug or a person or a fly. And nature is so beautiful to me. And it's why, so many people I've just, in my life, I've just fallen in love with every single person I've ever met, because everyone is so unique. And it doesn't matter how conflicted you are or not conflicted. It's all the same to me, because it's all just an experience of just beauty growing back towards itself. But money has always been a problem for me, because that's the way I've seen it. Because people place value on something. For example, if I say that I will do this for you if you give me this, it's like, no, the act of giving love is no less important than receiving love. So I'm placing more value on giving love than receiving love. That's not right, is it? Because it's just the circuit. And it doesn't matter what kind of love I'm getting or giving. I value all of that equally. So every relationship to me is an equal exchange. And I have no problem with receiving. So actually, and this is how you always maintain balance, is if you stay altruistic in all your relationships. If you give freely, then you will always be supported because you're giving freely of yourself to your environment. And that is, your environment has to support you that way. You know, I give freely of my love for you guys or anybody I come in contact with. You know, I'm not isolated here in a little den. You know, I get out, I talk to people, I have family, friends. But it's just, you know, the state of reality. Think of it that way. And think about where we're going. We are moving to a moneyless society. And I believe that maybe and this is something that I've always thought of, is that that great delusion in Revelation, part of that is the money system, that Babylonian system, just because it creates different types of value. And it pulls you into some kind of judgment. A lot of times it'll pull you into judgment of yourself if you have this much money or not this much money versus this person over here that has money or not have money. You know, I don't care if you're the richest person in the world or the poorest person in the world. You have an infinite amount of value, right? It's like if I were to offer a service and put a value of money on it, why would I put a judgment and a value on my time like that, right? And the only reason I am is because somebody else believes that that's what it should be. So money is a belief system just like anything else. It has nothing to do with the state of reality. Nothing else in the animal kingdom uses that stuff because they're not, and for that reason, they stay in balance with their environment. And in order to stay in balance with your environment, if you stay altruistic, your belief, your faith, your understanding of everything will grow because it has to, because it forces you to put yourself in service to the people around you, or you're not going to get anything in return. If you're in conflict and you're actively trying to pull from your environment energetically, you're placing a value on your time versus somebody else's. Because anytime you have any kind of interaction with somebody, you have equal timeshare. That is an equal timeshare. It doesn't matter if you're giving love, receiving love, right? Now, if I place more value, that say that my time is more valuable than your time, now I'm pulling energetically from my environment. That's why money is, right? Why? It's like if raising my child and forcing them to save money to pay me to see him later. Oh God, right? That sounds so bad. But that's, you know, when you think about it, we're all family, and why would we do that? I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys think about this today. I'm not gonna do any. Well, let's pull an oracle card. Why not? Just want you guys to think about that. Right? And I don't. And so it doesn't matter to me what anybody else believes or doesn't believe. I love it. All you guys are saying. Always have. And so anytime anybody asks me to do something, I was just like, yeah, let's do that. But at the same time, you don't want to get taken advantage of. If it, you know, it just is what it is. It's love you guys. Self-worth. I talked about this card before. She's not feeding on her environment, right? I assume this is a woman. I mean, her eyes don't look like my eyes, do they? But when you have a lot of self-worth, you're not feeding off of anybody energetically. You'll always be providing, right? Because it's like, I don't need anything from you. I'm totally fine. But so you're not feeding off your environment. You're providing whatever it is, and then getting it back. And so in a way, you're talking, because you can talk through this, but you can't eat. Right? This is an excellent card. I would like to meet the people that did these cards and wonder if they understood, because she's protecting herself. Just not feeding off of her environment, and but still speaking, because that's part of your creative circuit to speak. You know, if you think about it, if everything here from up here is all creation and it's supposed to go out, then anytime you're trying to put something in, then you're in conflict. And this is why all the ascended masters ended up fasting for 40 days, 40 nights in the wilderness off food and water. And then the body heals. Actually, I was talking to a Reiki healer about that the other day. Matt, if you're watching my videos at all. That's what your body does when you do that, when you do water fasts, water and food. Your cells start to pull all that water back in, because your body doesn't want to expend any water. Your body's got to use water. And so what I believe happens, and this is my personal belief, and it's not something that I've tried to go through yet, is that you become basically all that is and ever was, right? Think about that, because now you're not relying on anything at all in your environment. Everything is coming from you and back to you in the purest sense, because anytime you're feeding on anything this way, you're kind of in conflict with your environment has to feed you, right? So when you become completely in balance with yourself, and I believe that this is where we're all going. Spiritual texts, the only spiritual text that I see for a prophetic text is I think it's in Joel, or it's either in Joel or Hosea, is that right? It's in one of those prophecy books in the Bible, in the New Testament. Short one. It's a short one where it says, and the high priest will notice the day is there, and then every man, woman, and child and beast will go on a 40-day fast before something. So, and I believe that's the time before what the prophecy said that this gal has been receiving for years, where once you get to that state, you'll be able to pull in your higher self to your physical vessel, and actually everything is real. This is just a lower energetic piece of you in this reality, right? When you look at higher waveforms and everything. Anyway, I hope all this makes sense to you guys. I just love this subject and the state of reality and what's actually going on out there. And to make sure that think about yourself in the most beautiful way possible. And make sure that you're pouring that love out into your environment in whatever way you need to, right? And be creative about it. I'm going to try and get as creative as I can about it and make some better videos for you guys that are more interesting than me just sitting here, blah, 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 blah. Right? Anyway, love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.